Hey guys, Mr. Ablett here. This video is going to be about setting up and getting ready for developing the habit of practicing. Practicing is going to be one of the most difficult things that you do as a musician. Every professional musician that I know struggles with the habit of practicing. You're always going to struggle with it. It's hard work, but it's also some of the most rewarding things that you can do as a musician to prepare your music for rehearsal. Rehearsal is when the whole group gets together, and practicing is the preparation for that activity. Okay, practicing is where you learn your music. And in rehearsal, that's when you teach your part to everybody else in the band. Eventually, band is going to be where everybody in the ensemble has a different part of music, and you're going to hear, oh, I've got the melody here, and so does that other instrument on the other side of the room, and we need to put our parts together. And oh, this part is harmony and this part is bass line. You're going to be able to understand what those things are, hopefully by the end of this year, when we are doing that in our own way in beginning band. So let's get started right away. I've got some notes here that I'm going to refer to. As a person who's developing the habit of practicing, you are literally you're taking on two roles at the same time. When you're in my classroom, I'm the teacher. I'm sort of the facilitator of what's going on, okay? I develop the lesson plan. I say, we're going to do this now, and now we're going to do this, and I hold you accountable to all of those behaviors. In the practice room, that's your job. You become the teacher. And so think about for a moment what a teacher does. Before the lesson, I have to develop a plan of what we're going to do. I need to follow a step-by-step, like a map, so that we know where we're going as learners, okay? As musicians, as we're learning this skill, I have to know first we got to do number one. You can't do number 6 on the first day. You got to do number 1, because then you do number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you can do the rest, okay? So this video will show you how to develop a really simple plan that will work as like a template, you know, as something you can use each time you practice and expand upon as we go through the year, okay? I hope you watch this video many times and really understand, because there's going to be a lot of information I'm going to throw your way, as you probably noticed in these videos, okay? So you are both teacher and student when you are in the practice room, all right? It's kind of like your brain is the teacher and your body is the student. You know what to do, and you have to teach yourself how to physically do those things. Some wise person called music the Olympics of the small muscles. And that's such a great describer of what we do as musicians, and training ourselves in really, it's very much akin to physical training that you might do at a gym, like a workout, right? So I always think of my practicing as a workout, okay? So why don't we start by setting up the room. As you can see, I've got my trombone here. I'm a trombone player by trade. So this is my instrument, and I've got an instrument stand here, which my instrument goes on. This is not something parents, okay, not everybody needs this, okay? This is an optional thing. If you want to go like way above and beyond, if you think your child's going to benefit from having an instrument stand, and you're looking for like maybe a Christmas gift down the road or something like that, a birthday gift, this is a great way to support your kids' education, where you can have the instrument set up and ready to go at a moment's notice. Sometimes I find that just having the instrument on the stand is the thing that one thing that gets in the way. Oh, I gotta go practice, man. I gotta put my instrument together, and just, you know, it's nothing putting an instrument together, right? It takes a couple of seconds, especially a trombone. It's so easy, but that's just one less thing that maybe I can not complain about as somebody who needs to get into the practice room and get some work done. Okay, so it's something that I do recommend. It's not for everybody. Okay, you don't have to buy one. It's an optional thing, but if that's something you're interested in, That's a great help, I find. Having a really great chair. This is not the best chair to use. It's an office chair, and it's got arms, and the arms kind of get in the way, and the backrest, the headrest kind of get in the way as well. I prefer like an old-fashioned wooden chair, something really kind of uncomfortable, you know, like this, you know, just kind of, you know, just, boy, that, ow, you're gonna get, you know, a sore bottom sitting on that for hours and hours. But that just, it promotes excellent posture, and it just doesn't get in the way of your instrumental technique. Even better, stand up, okay? I did my practicing earlier tonight, and I stood the whole time, and that was just, it's just way better for my technique if I stand up. So if you're gonna have a chair, have something that works for you, that's not gonna get in the way, or stand. Speaking of standing, you're going to need a music stand. This is the one that I use. It's a big heavy duty one. The ones that they sell for beginners are called like a wire music stand. They fold up like this into a little bag or something like that. Those are fine, okay? This one is designed to carry the amount of music that I'm practicing, okay? This is one stack that I'm working on right now. I've got another stack right over there, okay? I've got tons of stuff to get through. Now I need a music stand that's going to be able to hold up, you know, 10, 20 pounds worth of paper, okay? You don't need that as a beginner. You just need something that's going to hold up your book, and you're good to go, okay? So a wire music stand, so important. That's, I would say, an essential purchase. Okay, I remember when I was a kid learning how to play the trombone and putting my music on the surface of my bed and practicing in my room, and I was having to move myself back and forth like this because I couldn't read the music and I couldn't use the instrument properly because the furniture was in the way. So a music stand, that's absolutely crucial for any instrument, not just trombones. A metronome. This is not something, we used to have to recommend you buy a metronome, but now the metronomes are available online. As you've seen in the other videos, I've got mine loaded up right now. You see it behind me. Just click start, and whatever speed you want it to go at, and it helps you play steady. It's so important as a musician to have a decent metronome. Find one online that you like and use that. You can also find tuners if you've got a microphone hooked up to your computer, okay? And you can tune your instrument as well. Okay, and the last thing, speaking of the computer, YouTube is such an incredible resource. Man, I wish I had it when I was going through university in the 90s. YouTube is just an amazing resource of really inspirational videos. It's funny, some students will watch, especially a young person, somebody younger than them, on a video playing their own instrument, and some will go, wow, that makes me want to practice, and other people will go, oh, that makes me discouraged, I hate myself. And I think every musician feels that at one point or another, or every person for that matter. Watching those videos and just getting excited along with your child would be really, really helpful, okay? Find someone young, maybe around their age, that's doing something interesting on their instrument, and talk about the good stuff that they're doing and maybe the stuff that they don't like. That's okay too. To think about, process those videos. And you can even find some really kind of bad performances too. And those are interesting to watch as well. There's always things to talk about. And YouTube is a great resource for just thinking about music and engaging in the process. And that's what we're about at this stage. Okay, so that sets up our room. Let's talk about what you actually do in a practice session. Okay, so what I would do is divide your practice session into 3 chunks. Okay, no matter how long it is, at the beginning we're gonna do approximately 15 minutes of practicing a day. So let's break that into 3 5-minute chunks, and you're gonna do something for 5 minutes. You can even set a timer, which is really helpful, and then another, chapter 2. 5 minutes, chapter 3, 5 minutes, and you're done. It goes by so quick when we have it organized like this. So what do you do at the beginning? Well, you put your instrument together and you do a warm-up, okay? So you can review the class content. This is something that we'll be doing in class. We'll be writing down what we did that day and what the practicing should look like. Okay, we worked on page 5. Oh, I remember playing Go Tell Aunt Rhody or whatever song is on page 5. And so review that content, Remember what we did in class this week? Oh yeah, what did we do last time? What did we talk about? Here are some of the topics that I talk about when we're in band. I don't talk about all of this every day. This is like an entire year's worth of stuff. Okay, we talk about posture a lot at the beginning. Okay, so having if your child has a phone, putting the phone on the music stand and just having a look at yourself holding your instrument. Are you sitting like this, right, with your instrument pointing down? Okay, or are you sitting like this? Or maybe you're overdoing it and you're overcompensating, your instrument's way up in the air. Okay, are you sitting with your back nice and straight? Are your shoulders up? What happens when you breathe? Do you go, right? Keep your shoulders down and your body relaxed. Okay, the strength comes from right behind your belly button. Okay, right where the diaphragm muscle sits, okay, and the abdominal muscles. That's the inhaling and exhaling muscles that we use in band. Posture is incredibly important, and it's going to have a huge impact on not only the way that we sound, but the way that we look, right? You come on stage and you've got elementary band all sitting like this and they play, or you got elementary band that sits like this and you're like, yeah, let's go, boom, right? It's a totally different atmosphere, and posture really shows that when we're performing. Hand position, you know, clarinet, right hand on the bottom, left hand on the top. All woodwinds are like that. Flutes, left hand like this, right hand faces away, left hand faces towards you. That's how you hold the flute. And you'll notice that if you have your cell phone on the music stand, you can use it like a mirror. Or, I think I've got mine handy, I have a set of classroom mirrors that I'll be passing around. Having something like this in the studio, incredibly useful, okay? And then you can just, you know, have it on your stand. You can check yourself. Oh yeah, right. What am I doing? You know, oh, I gotta, this happens to me sometimes. I'll be playing and then I'll go, what am I doing with my posture that's influencing? You can't tell you're doing it unless somebody's there watching you, right? Or you can check yourself out and you go, oh yeah, that's what's going on. This shoulder's coming up when I play E flat. Okay, I don't know why I'm doing that, but it's an unconscious thing that I can't perceive unless I can see myself doing it and then make the correction. Okay, so I got these, a whole set of them at the dollar store. Super cheap. Next thing, so we did posture and we did hand position. Make sure, like when you're holding the clarinet, you're just using the tip of your thumb, and holding the trumpet, just the tips of your fingers. Don't stick your whole thumb through the trumpet. You don't need to. Just the tip of your fingers. And then your hand's going to be able to push the valve straight up and down instead of pushing the valve sideways, and that's why they're getting stuck, right? We're going to talk about this in class, okay? So don't worry about the details of what I'm talking about. Get the big picture. Hand position is what it's all about, okay? Breathing. That's something we're going to talk about in class. Check your breathing. Just, I'll show you how to do it. And then when you review this video, go, oh yeah, Mr. Abbott was doing this thing about breathing, and you can do that exercise, okay? How about tone production? Oh, so important. Tone production. My teacher told me if you don't sound good, it doesn't matter how fast, how high, and how loud you can play. If you don't have a nice sound, no one cares, right? You gotta sound really pretty and nice all the time. And when you don't sound pretty and nice, that's, oh, check that tone production, right? Make a correction. Are you putting down the right fingerings? Okay, for trombone, man, it's obvious, right? You can put the slide in the right position, or, you know, I mean, it can go anywhere, right? You have, if you don't have a reference and you're not listening in class or reading carefully in the book, yeah, it's going to be really, really tough to know exactly where to put that slide, okay? So fingering, super important. Do you know the note names? Do you know the names of all the notes in the music that you're playing? If you don't know the names of the notes, take your pencil out and do some silent practicing where you're writing in your music and you're learning the names of the notes. Super important. I'm going to hold you to that, okay? The next thing is knowing the rhythm. You have to be able to write the counting in underneath, the 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and understand how that rhythm takes place when we set a pulse, okay? And I'll show you how to do the counting in class. When you come home, you can be like, this sounds funny. I should check and make sure, check my counting. You write the counting underneath and you write note names above. Okay. And lastly, self-expression. Hey, we're artists, we're musicians. Let's express some kind of emotion. Even in really basic music, you can still do it, right? And here's the shortcut. If you're playing a song that has lyrics, like say you're doing Old MacDonald or something like that, think about the words of the song while you're playing it. It's not just the robotic motion of playing the instrument, whatever instrument that happens to be. It's about expressing the meaning behind the music. So if it's Old MacDonald, you wouldn't want to go na 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 na. It sounds terrible, right? But if you sing it in your head, Old MacDonald had a farm, right? And you get that sort of like, oh, I remember how this goes. This is fun, right? Make that sound fun through your instrument, and self-expression happens. All right. So that can be your warm-up, just going through stuff that we reviewed in class. Don't do all of those in a warm-up. It's only 5 minutes, right? Do one. Pick a couple of things in class, some concepts, and review in your mind. Oh yeah, we talked about breathing. What did we say? How does it go? Review. Now, for the next 5 minutes, I'd like you to work on muscle memory. So muscle memory comes from repetition. Okay, you probably see this most if you've taken piano lessons where you're doing scales and you go 1 yen, a 2 yen, a 3 yen, a 4 yen, a 1 yen, a 2 yen, a 3 yen, a 4. Or any kind of professional musician, you're going to hear them do that. That's what I played a few minutes ago. Okay, practicing scales. You have to do it all the time. It's just it's kind of like stretching for somebody in the Olympics. Okay, it's what we do. And so you're going to develop muscle memory through repetitions. Okay, weightlifters do this, they call it reps. Okay, so how many reps are you going to do? Well, pick the song that we worked on in class, maybe something that you're struggling with. Okay, and I want you to play it perfectly, say 5 times in a row. And if you can't do it perfectly, 5 times, then you don't really know the song yet. Okay. And maybe you'll figure that out tomorrow in your next practice session. But for now, you're going to have to go back. So if you do it the first time, you have a little scorecard. This is what I do, right? I write a little scorecard. I put a check mark or an X, right? And then I'll put a little mark underneath. I did it right. Give myself a check mark. Ooh, I did it wrong. Got to start again. So if you do it 4 times in a row and it sounds good, awesome. Great job. Here comes the 5th time. Oops. Darn it, I made that mistake again. Back to the beginning. First time, got it. Second time, did it right. Third time, oops. Start again. First time, got it. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, and if you can do it 5 times in a row, then you're doing pretty good, okay? Once you get into high school, we would probably increase that to more like 10 times in a row. All right? And then, so if you can do that, just 5 minutes, you're not going to get that many reps in 5 minutes, really. So if it takes you 5 seconds to play the song or 10 seconds to play the song, even if you played it without stopping, it would take a minute just to go through the 5 reps, right? So take a little breath in between. You can take breaks in your practicing. That's okay too. Take a minute off, right? And then try it again. Oh, and then try it again. Okay, review, review, review. Just because you played it right once doesn't mean you know how to play it. It means you played it right once. So you could do it wrong 99 times, practice it. You're literally reinforcing the wrong every time you do that, okay? So you do it wrong 99 times, you've practiced it 99 times wrong. Ouch. That's why practicing is hard. Yeah. And then you do it right once and you're like, oh, I did it right. Good. Hang up the horn and get out of here. Unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. We have to turn the tables. Where you play it so many times right, you just can't play it wrong. Okay? You've reinforced the right so many times, you just can't do it wrong anymore. Okay? And so doing that for 5 minutes every day, okay, over time, over months, that's going to be immensely valuable. Okay. Finally, the last 5 minutes or the last third of your practicing, spend some time having fun. If it's not fun, oh man, it's going to be so hard to come back next time. Do something fun, okay? Find a play along video on YouTube that has the music on the screen and you can watch the music and play along. Or maybe it just has the backing track and you can print something off. There's stuff online with Essential Elements Interactive that have all the backing tracks for all of the music for the whole book for free, okay? And I'll show you how to access that. I'll be using some of those in class as well with a big loudspeaker. So that's really helpful just to have some fun. You can just improvise on your instrument and just enjoy the fact that you're learning to play music for the first time. Okay, it's really an amazing experience what we're doing in band. And so let's enjoy it as we do it, okay? Take a moment at the end of every practice session and just spend a little bit of time having some fun before you put your instrument away. Don't put your instrument away angry and frustrated because you can't do something. Always finish with something fun, okay? Well, I hope this video has helped you in some way. Make sure that you're practicing and writing it down each time. At the end of every month, I'll be collecting practice records and I'll be recording those as part of your grade in band, okay? It's something that influences your progress and how I can help you. If I see a kid that's not consistent or not handing them in at all, then I know in class, okay, maybe I need to sit down with them and work with them a little bit more, okay? As time goes on, you're going to find yourself falling behind if it's something that you're not engaging in on a regular basis, okay? And I understand if you miss once in a while. Don't be too hard on yourself if you miss because, hey, I'm sick, or I go to, we went to Auntie's house on the weekend or something like that. I did something fun for a day. Oh my goodness, I didn't practice. Don't be too hard on yourself, okay? Be just the right amount hard on yourself. And just work hard in band and you'll see how much fun it is down the road when we start putting some concerts together and really working together on that kind of level. Okay, so happy practicing. I'll see you in class. Bye.